a lot of people are studying at home right now, I thought there's literally no better time to incorporate some sort of exercise. And since I got home, since I don't have any of the usual gym equipment, me and my friend, we were like, all right, let's go, you know, do some sort of race. So I had a quick look and I was like, oh, there's this 21K happening at the end of the year. Maybe we should try and sign up for that and get prepared. He's like, nah, don't 21K, don't be soft. Do the full marathon. I'm like, are you sure, mate? So I'm like, all right, I'll sign up for it. Big 42K, I'm freaking out. I have no idea what's gonna happen in it. But I have been trying to scramble together some sort of training routine and trying to squeeze in a bit of running between study sessions. So this video is kind of just gonna share my experiences so far, the ups, the downs, a few tips, and hopefully motivate some of you to incorporate some sort of exercise or do some running. You know, it's great for you. And even though I can't even motivate my girlfriend to do any exercise, but hopefully someone out there will listen. So let's get to it. Okay, so after watching a few David Goggins videos, I decided I'm gonna do this. Let's get ready for this. So I thought I'll build up my mileage, kilometerage maybe for Australian metric measurements. So I started about 20 kilometers, thought maybe build up 3 or 4 Ks every week, and I got to the point where I was doing about maybe 35, 40 Ks a week. And my first run, I think it was on the 29th of April, it was just like a 5K run. And the race day was on the 23rd of August. So it gave me about 4 months. And I thought, that's plenty of time, you know, I'll be fine. And, you know, I stuck at it, I kept building up. I think in May I ran about 150 Ks or something, which is, you know, for someone who's never really ran seriously before, that's a big distance. And everything was going pretty good until about 2 months in. You know, it was just a normal run. I got ready, I tied my shoes up, got out the door, started running, and about 6 or 7 Ks in, I felt this really, like, I don't know, my knee just kind of started feeling a bit sore. And I thought, you know, it'll be fine. I've had a few sore, you know, a few niggles here and there during my runs. It'll be fine. I'll just push through it and it'll go away. But it just got progressively worse, and I think about the 12, 13K mark, it just felt like I was getting stabbed in my knee. And I was like, what is going on? Like, this is not good. And as the race day was kind of getting close, I'm like, I hope this isn't serious. So I kind of held off going to see the doctor or anything about it. I'm like, maybe I'll just rest it for a week or two, not run really, maybe do it 1 or 2 Ks, just light. And I gave it 2 weeks and tried to run again, and the same thing happened, but it happened much sooner. It happened after like 4 or 5 Ks, and I'm like, how am I going to be able to run a marathon if I can only run 4 or 5 Ks? So I decided I'm going to go to the physiotherapist, and she diagnosed me with, surprise, surprise, runner's knee. Now this didn't really come as a surprise to her, since about 30 to 50% of runners experience some sort of injury every year, and chondromalacia patellae, or runner's knee, is by far one of the most common injuries that runners get. And it's usually brought about by muscle imbalances.
Alright, anatomy time. Alright, anatomy time.
In my case, my quadratus lateralis muscle was overpowering my running movement, causing my patella to misalign during my run and not adequately disperse force throughout my leg on each step. This was secondary to my gluteus minimus and medius weakness, you know, the ones you see the girls always working on at the gym. That was causing my quadratus lateralis to compensate, which led to subsequent calf tightness as it too tried to compensate for the movement, and tightness along my IT bands, which caused a bit of hip pain as well. After she kind of told me that, correcting it was a pretty simple matter. She gave me a few exercises to do. She said, do these twice a day and you should be ready by 2 months. And my heart kind of sank when I said that, because by the time I think she diagnosed me in June, you know, 2 months was the race day, and I'm like, I can't run. You know, I have to get better before then. So I tried my absolute hardest to try and incorporate the exercises. I did everything to the T. I made sure I was doing all the flexibility training, the stretches and all that, and I was so lucky because of the circumstance and how crazy this year's been. I went on my computer one morning and I got an email and they said the race has been pushed back to November. So it gave me at least 3 or 4 months extra to practice. So now I'm kind of, it's August now, obviously, so if none of that would have happened, I would have already run the race and I probably wouldn't have been able to finish it or had to pull out. So I'm really happy, you know, that all the time I put in so far is not going to go to waste, and I'm really making sure that I don't get that injury again. So I've been making sure I do all my stretching and flexibility, and I think it just kind of highlighted to me, you know, how important that kind of stuff is, and taking care of yourself, not just when you're exercising, but when you're not exercising. So don't do what I did. Is probably the main takeaway from that whole thing. And now, you know, I'm slowly starting to ease back into it, and it's been good. I'm trying to build up my mileage a lot more slower, maybe like 1 or 2 Ks a week, and not really trying to push too hard. As soon as I feel any kind of pain, I just kind of stop and not try and push through it, and it's been good. You know, I feel a lot better now. So, and also after doing all that and going through that process, it kind of makes me realize that most people can run a marathon. Well, I think so, in theory. You know, in theory, I feel like I might be able to run it. Because, you know, it's just something that you have to be consistent with and make sure you're doing the exercises. And although I did play a lot of sport when I was younger, I feel like even if you haven't come from a sporting background, running is something that is so physiologically natural for a lot of people. You know, once you have a good technique down, I think the hardest part is getting good technique. After that, you know, you really come to enjoy running, and especially after I've had an intense study session and you kind of get stuck on an idea, going for a run and not listening to any music but just listening to, you know, the world around you and just thinking about certain problems that you're having with study can really help you clear your mind, which is probably the most wonderful benefit I've had from running the last couple of months. That's all I wanted to say this week. That was my experience training for this marathon. I'm really excited for how it's going to all go down in November. I'm keeping track of my distance and everything. If you enjoyed this video, you know, leave a like, and that's it. So see you later. This is Cher.